Alright, so recently I moved into this house where I am right now, and when I moved in, I didn't have a bed frame in my bedroom. I had a mattress, but I just didn't have a bed. And to begin with, I thought, oh, I should get a bed frame. Like, I'll get that sorted. That's kind of what you should do, right? But it's funny, like I've been here for the past week now, and I actually really love sleeping on the floor. Like, and it's not the first time I've experimented with it, but um, there's something I prefer so much more about just having my mattress. Like, obviously, I've still got a mattress. I'll show you. There's something I love so much about just having my mattress on the floor, like on the ground, with the earth. I mean, I'm on the first floor, but you know what I mean. And there's all sorts of things about this. Like it's better for your back, better for like you sleep better. And I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but the fact still remains. Frankly, I don't need a bed frame. And I was thinking about getting one anyway, just because that's what you do, right? Your bedroom has a bed frame. But then I watched this video of Chris Williamson interviewing Hamza on his podcast, and he was saying how for most of his life he really worried about people liking him, and he only did things for because to get people to like him, basically. Like he was on Love Island. He worked in events, in clubbing events, stuff like that, and so much of his life was like, yeah, trying to get people to like him, basically. Being popular, being the popular guy, being the cool guy who can get you tickets into events and stuff like that. And then he did this podcast, and this was a bit more of a kind of he stopped doing things that necessarily made him cool, and he was much happier as a result of it. And I'm sure the story is a lot more complicated than that, but that's kind of how he often tells it. And he was using this example to Hamza, and he was saying, you should worry less about like what other people think of you, not worry so much about living up to this ideal of being like a really alpha guy, just focus on your authenticity a bit more. And excuse me, guys, this is good advice, right? And Hamza was like quite sort of moved by it. And anyway, really got me thinking about this bed again, and like the bed frame. And this might sound silly to you, but I actually thought like maybe this is what's going on as well. I'm only getting a bed frame because it's what other people do, and I should do what other people do. But I'm not saying getting a bed frame is a bad idea, but if I get one, it should be because I genuinely want one, because I think it's genuinely going to add to my life, rather than it is what other people do. So anyway, why am I talking about this weird point? Why am I bothering to make a weird video about my sleeping arrangements? Well, I just think it opens up a wider point of just doing things because you think it's what you should do, rather than what other people. Because what you truly want to do on like a deep level. And I see so many examples of this. I mean, I remember I had a friend who it's happened a few times actually, people who are like quite sporty, and they've asked me if I want to do like some kind of race, like a triathlon or like a marathon or something. And this kind of sounds a bit cope, but I've never seen the benefit personally for me to doing one. And I will, I love doing fitness. I think it's really important. But it's just never aligned with my fitness goals. For a while, I was really focused on building more muscle. Now I'm much more focused on getting rid of bodily tension and posture. Those are the kind of things that I'm interested in. And I build my fitness around that. And the idea of training for a marathon, in both those instances, they fly completely against why my sort of approach towards training, you know, because with a marathon, you're not building any muscle if you're training for a marathon. Let's be honest. And similarly, it's not great for your posture and your bodily tension and stuff like that. You know, it's not very, you know, it can actually cause quite a lot of damage. You know, intense training, physical training for running and stuff like that. Now, is it still good for your body? You know, is it still an ego burning experience to train in a marathon? Like, absolutely, yeah. But just right now, where I am in my life, I just think like, it's not what I truly am about. It's not what I truly want. Was what I truly like. I think best serves me in the world of physical activity. You know, if I in the future I might think, yeah, what I need from physical exercise is an ego burning experience, and in that case, something like a marathon would be perfect. But until then, my exercise has to line up with what my aims are, and if my aims are, you know, improve my posture, get rid of body tension, then yoga is going to be a thing, or stretching is going to be a thing, or sort of light running and stuff like that. And yeah, so I've turned down offers to do this kind of stuff before, just because I've dug deep and I thought, actually this doesn't really align with like my purpose, like what I see as my goals in exercise. Like, it runs completely contrary. And, you know, in a sense I thought, oh, you know, maybe that would have been good to do anyway, but if it doesn't line up with your goals, then no, you shouldn't. You know, like, okay, if you're doing nothing productive with, you know, you're doing no physical activity, then anything's going to be better than none. But once you're on the ground running and you're actually doing stuff with your body, then the choice is yours, really, like what serves you best. And that's only for you to say, really. And so that's another example of the same thing, you know, just going against what you should do, what you feel like you should do, in favour of what really, truly serves you, you know. And I think a lot of secrets to life is just working out what truly serves you on a deep level, and then saying no to everything else. And it's so easy, it's so hard to do, you know, especially because everyone's always telling you one extra thing that you could do. You know, oh, try this cool business idea, try this new workout routine, you know. But that was never the problem, like working out what things to do. The question was, what is truly going to serve you, and then ignore everything else. Even if, you know, peer pressure, the people around you tell you to do a certain thing. You know, I got into a door-to-door sales job straight after uni. You know, I studied at like a Russell Group university, did a very academic degree, did very well, and I could have gotten jobs that were much better in terms of pay, in terms of career opportunities and stuff like that. But I just wanted to do sales, and it was an uphill battle to like constantly maintain this. Like, yeah, I know I could get a better job, you know, doing something else, but I want to learn the skills of sales, you know, even if just for like, you know, a few months, which is what I ended up doing. And yeah, it felt like, if I looked at society, I felt like that was the wrong thing to do, like I should be getting a more normal job. But I look back on it and I'm like, I'm so glad that I had the courage to do that, because it taught me so many lessons. And really, I think life is a test of life, really. I think, you know, if you want to put a sort of religious picture to it, where you go up to heaven and you meet God. And I think the real question he's going to ask is, did you do what you were put there to do? You know, or did you just go along with everything else, everyone else? And yeah, it's an incredibly difficult question to to answer. But I think a lot of, when we really like pull out the big picture, we see the big picture, we're all so different and we're all so unique and we have such different motivations. And it's rare that you find someone who really rises to that, to their uniqueness, and pursues their life in a way that is in accordance with what they really desire. But I think that's the real test of life. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, link in the description. If you're interested in doing some one-on-one coaching with me, just click the link below. But apart from that, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one.